Guys, welcome back. Now we are going to discuss about flyweight design pattern. So what is this flyweight design pattern? So what is the use of that actually? So basically this is belongs to the structural design pattern. Okay, that is the first point you should know that. Okay, and it helps to decrease the object count. Okay, due to that memory usage will be less. What does it mean actually? So it will help you to, for example, in your use case, maybe you need to create 10 objects from for a single stuff. Okay, for a single class you need to create a 10 object. It may be help you to decrease the object count. Okay, instead of 10 times you are creating new object, it may help you to reduce the object count. That is what basically the flyweight design pattern is doing. Okay, so due to this obviously our memory will get saved, right? So that is what I'm trying to tell you in the first point. Okay, in the second point, so how basically it is storing and how it is decreasing the object count means, so when you are creating some new objects, right, it is storing into some hash map. Okay, so when you are trying to create the same object again, it may be give you the whatever object was already saved in the hash map, it will give you that. If the object is not saved in the hash map, it will create a new object and it will give that. Okay, so that is what, if you see the second point, object stored in the hash map. So when user wants object, we will pass the key into hash map. If the object present, it will give the object. If not, it will create a new object. Okay, that is what basically. Okay, then what is, okay, so this is one part. Okay, so overall you understood what is flyweight, right? So it is nothing but if you want to create same object maybe again and again, it may be help you to decrease the object count. That is what basically. Okay, so that is what the intention for this flyweight design pattern. Okay, so to before jumping into the coding, right, you need to know the two keywords from this. What is intrinsic and extrinsic? The state of that, what is intrinsic state and extrinsic state? Okay, intrinsic, it is nothing but state that's shared in every context. Extrinsic, it is nothing but context specific state. What is this means actually? Okay, just assume that you are having on Java class basically. Okay, so the class called maybe employee or whatever it may be. Okay, so for example 10 employees, right? So you just think that the employee object having couple of fields, right? Maybe the first field you just assume that employee ID. Okay, then the second field just assume that employee name. Then the third field just assume that that is a company name of the employee, right? So for example, you are assuming 10 employees for the specific company profile. So the ID will be different, name will be different, but the company name will be same for all the 10 employee object, right? Correct. So this is what we can understand, right? So here, so if you see the intrinsic state that shared in every context, this is what the company. So when you are copy that object, okay, so the company name will be same. Okay, state that shared in every context, it can share with all the context. That is what, if you are copying 10 context from the same object, the shared memory is same, right? The state is same. That is what. Okay, extrinsic, what is it? Employee context specific state. Here each employee ID and employee name, that is belongs to the particular employee object only. That is not for a whole company concept, right? So for each and every employee object have a specific state. That is what we are calling as a extrinsic and intrinsic. Okay, so intrinsic means what? In the employee object, if you are thinking about company name, just assume the 10 employee object. So all the 10 employee objects, company name will be same. Okay, in the field of company name will be same. That is called as a intrinsic. Okay, so ID and employee name will be different. That is called as a extrinsic. This is what. Okay, so overall you understood, right, what is the concept behind this flyweight. Let's see some example so that you can get more idea on this. Okay, let me jump into Eclipse. Okay, so here I am trying to convey some sample programs in the gaming world. Okay, just assume that, let me tell you one user scenario where you can use this. Okay, okay, so you are developing one gaming application. Okay, any gaming application, maybe some fight game application, just think that. Okay, you are developing one fighting game application. Okay, so basically what are the stuffs will be there? maybe your game application, maybe you develop like a two different team can be fight. Okay, so one team can be attacker, okay, and another team can be a defender. Maybe they are defending from you. Okay, so that is what two teams. Okay, so that is what basically your game world is. Okay, so what basically will happen here, so maybe each team considers a four people. Okay, so each team four people, so four attacker and four defender. Here if you just assume that four attacker can use the same object, correct? Maybe one attacker having a one gun, like a gun name called AKM or something else. Second attacker can have another gun that may be M4 and 6 or something else. Okay, third attacker can have a knife. So four different attacker can have a different, what is that, the whatever the missions they want, they can keep it out, right? But the four people are attackers, right? So that is what their, what is that, the task is attacking to the enemy team. That is what the four people will do. The same time, if you coming to defender, four team will be have a defender. Maybe somebody have some rocks to defend that. Okay, somebody have some steel to defend that, whatever it may be. Okay, but their four team task is defending. So here you can think that the common thing for your four people is a defender, the four people is a attacker. If you create the object for each of them, it will be like 8 memories. So 8 separate memories you need to allocate it, 4 for attacker, 4 for defender. Here what this our flyweight is coming, and it is giving the introduction. What basically it is doing, it is creating only two objects for you. One is for attacker and one is for defender. Okay, and whenever the attacker is coming, okay, it will check, okay, the new attacker is coming. For example, just taking that you are trying to create a new object for the attacker. Okay, the first attacker is coming, you are trying to create an object. Okay, so you are going to check the hash map. Okay, this attacker is already there or not. So attacker object is not yet created in the, not yet created, and not yet is available in the hash map. So it is creating new attacker object and it is placing that. Okay, so maybe that attacker the task is attack, but the whatever he have the mission or attacking gun or whatever it may be, he have a AKM gun, just assume that. Okay, the second attacker is coming, again he also having the same task, attack, right? So it can copy the existing object. Okay, but his mission will be different, right? What is that? He may have the knife, so it can replace the fields alone. It can copy the existing object and it can replace the fields alone, right? So that is what this flyweight basically is doing. So two object only creating. So there's one object for attacker and one object for defender. So those two objects will be in the hash map. Whenever new attacker is coming, maybe fifth attacker you are trying to, it will just check. Yes, already attacker object is there. It will fetch the object and it will replace the whatever mission whatever attacking parts he is having, just it is replacing. That is what it is doing, the flyweight is doing. Okay, hope you understood what is the concept behind this flyweight, right? Okay, due to this we are saving lot of memories. We are avoiding 6 object creation, right? So basically in this small example, maybe if you are working with a gaming or project, definitely you will have lot of memory creation. So if you are using this flyweight at the place of mobile application like gaming application, you can save lot of memories, right? Yeah, let's jump into some sample and see how really it is working. Okay, so first let's see what is the problem really in real world. We'll see as of now. Okay, as of now I'm just going with one example. Okay, so whatever we discussed till now, right, I'm going with the similar example. Okay, I have a player. Okay, so player have a interface. Okay, so for the specific player I should have some assigned troops. I should assign some troops. He should have some troops, right? So every player have some troops to attack the enemies. Okay, so this is what the attacker will have it. Okay, the same way for the defender also have some troops, that is fine. Okay, then he have some mission. Don't worry about this, is just to print some values. I just creating one method. Okay, what is his mission, what basically is trying to do, is attacker or defender, that all things will print it out. Okay, so now fine. So now maybe what basically you need to do, you need to create a object for attacker and then you need to create an object for defender, right? So what basically we'll do, okay, attacker object I created, I need to, what is that, I need to override those methods, right? The two methods I need to override, the same way I need to create a defender object and I need to override the methods. Okay, now what basically our user class will do, I'm going into one user class. Okay, from this class I'm trying to create 10 objects totally. Okay, that may be attacker or whatever it may defender, that may be fine. Okay, but 10 objects I'm trying to create it. If you see this sample, don't worry about this. Okay, so I'll just explain you what is this code. Okay, so I have basically player type is attacker or defender. Okay, based on that I'm going to create an object for attacker or defender, this class. Okay, then I have your troops. Maybe I have different troops, dragon, some P.E.K.K.A and wizard and giant. Okay, this type of troops I have it. Okay, so when I'm trying to create a player object, right, so I need to create a player object, maybe attacker or defender, that is dynamically I'm trying to get random player type. So for that I'm creating one method. Okay, so for 10 times I'm just iterating using the for loop. Okay, so maybe attacker or defender I will get, but each time how can we create a object, basically we'll create a object using the new and attacker, right? If the attacker, then we'll create a object, maybe if it is else we'll create a object for defender the same way, right? So maybe we need to give like this and we need to create a object of defender, right? This is the way we need to create an object. See here you can see each time we are calling this new attacker or new defender. It means that the 10 times the object has to created, maybe 5 times attacker and 5 times defender, maybe 6 times attacker, 4 times defender. That may be used on some dynamic logic, like random logic I just added up, but see that 10 object has been created, correct? So you understood till now, right? So this is the problem. Why I want to create 10 object. Basically I can copy the existing object, then I can I can override the troops alone for each guy, right? So one attacker maybe have the dragon and another attacker can have a P.E.K.K.A, like that I can assign the troops alone, right? Why can't I do that actually, right? We can do that, right? So this is the problem you are facing. You are creating 10 objects. Okay, so to resolve that we are having flyweight design pattern. Okay, so in the flyweight design pattern, if the object is once it is created, second time it will not get created. How can we resolve that? Let's see in the actual programs. Okay, as of now I'm just closing this. Okay, this is the problem file. Okay, so as of now what I'm trying to do, I have an example. Okay, so one gaming program I took as an example. Okay, the Clash of Clans, maybe you people aware of that. Okay, so basically the Clash of Clans concept is basically attacker and defender. Basically that is what the actual concept of this game. Okay, so I'm going to create a player. So for the player I need to assign it troops and player have some mission. Okay, that is fine. The same way whatever we discussed, I have a attack as well as defend. If you see the attack, right, I have two fields. One is task and another one is troops. Okay, the task I'm calling as a intrinsic attribute. It means that it can carry over all the objects. You can see, right, state that shared in every context. Okay, when whatever objects you are creating, it can carry over for all the objects. It can be shared. Okay, so that is what it is called. It is calling as an intrinsic attribute. Again, extrinsic attribute, troops. Every attacker can have different guns, right? Troops can have different troops, right? Basically that is what this is called as a extrinsic attribute. Okay, so these troops can be assigned dynamically, but this task can be assigned, that is also not dynamically, that is statically at the time of object creation itself. Anyway, for all the attacker having the same task, right, that might be attack, that is what their task, right? but the troops, everyone will have different troops. So that is what the reason these two fields, how I am assigning for this task. While creating the constructor, I'm just hard coding the value, okay, but the troops I'm trying to assign when we are calling the assign troops, so dynamically the value getting assigned. Okay, so in the mission I'm just trying to print it out. Okay, what is the troops he is having, what is the task basically he is going to do it out, and this is the toString main. That's all about attacker. The same for defender also. If you see, the task is defend. Okay, the troops I may assign dynamically different troops for each and every defender. Okay, so I done myself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so what is our concept? If attacker is already created, I don't want to create attacker new object. Defender is already created, I don't want to create a different, again the defender object, right? So to solve that, we need to create a one more class called factory. Okay, this factory has to decide that that particular object can be created or not. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, I'm creating a new factory class called player factory. Here the logic is very simple. I have a static method, static hash map. Okay, so which is the key is a string and value is a player. Okay, so and I'm trying to get the player object from one of the static method. So the static method, you can see player equal to null. If player dot get type, this type basically we need to pass it from the object creation part. When we are creating the object, when we want the object of player, we need to pass that. This I want a attacker or I want a defender. We need to pass the type. So if the type is already present in this hash map, it will share that object. Okay, if it is not present, they will spot. It will check. If it is attacker, it will create an attacker object. If it is a defender, it will create a defender object. Then it will put that into this hash map. This hash map, it will put the values into this hash map, and it will just return the player. That is what this player factory will do. Okay, then at last, this is my Clash of Clans. This is my actual gaming pro file. This is my main gaming file. Here you can see that the coding. Okay, so the private, here I have two fields, what is string arrays. One is for choosing to getting the player type, maybe attacker or defender. Another one is for troops. Okay, I have a couple of troops. So these values I am trying to get randomly. Okay, for that I added this method. Don't worry about it. Okay, so this is what our main logic. This is what you need to concentrate here. So you can see here, when I'm trying to create the object, I'm calling the factory class for the get player. Here I am trying to pass that get random player type. I am passing randomly attacker or defender. That's it. Okay, maybe you can hardcode and pass it out, but 10 times as I am iterating, I'm 10 times different. One time it will go attacker, second time also maybe go attacker or defender, again that time attacker or defender. That may be statics, that logic can be taken from the random type. Okay, so I'm passing randomly one attacker or defender, one player type I'm passing. Then that player type will assign to this player. Then I'm overriding that assign troops. Again, troops may be different, right? So for that also I'm sending some dynamic troops. Okay, so then I'm trying to print the mission. That is what basically I'm doing here. So whenever I'm calling this get player, so it will first time it will check. Okay, the player is not there, so maybe attacker or defender, it will create an object. If the player is already present in this hash map, it will just return that. So once it is returned, I'm overriding the troops and mission. It means that I'm not creating the new object, right? So existing object I'm getting, as that is also attacker, I no need of new object, right? So other three members, maybe if your team containing attacker containing four people, so for first people alone I need to create a new object. Other three people I can copy that object and I can assign the troops for separately for each of them, right? This is what basically what is that our flyweight design pattern is doing. Hope you understood, right? What is the logic behind this? It is very simple. Maybe it will get confused, but if you watch the videos 2 times or 3 times, definitely you can catch it out. Okay, so it is very simple. It is helping us to what is the reduce the count of the object, that's it actually. Okay, based on some logic, maybe if you are if you want 10 objects, maybe if you don't 10 object is similar, couple of fields are similar but only couple of fields are dynamic, then you can go with this basically. Okay, so hope you understood. Thanks for watching. Okay, please let me know if you have any doubts or anything, please put it in comment section. Okay, I will try to reply as soon as possible. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks guys, bye bye.